let us get to this announcement from the industry leaders calling for a national electrification effort. This is part of all the clean energy they want to produce based on Carney's budget and stuff like that. Let's just hear what they have to say.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. I'm Maren Smith. I'm the president of New Economy Canada. We are an initiative uniting companies, unions, and Indigenous organizations that spans mining, construction, steel, clean energy, clean technology. We represent over 410,000 workers and companies that generate more than 200 billion Canadian in annual revenues. And some of these members and industry leaders are here with me today. So as the Prime Minister said last week, clean electricity is the path, the only path to a sustainable, profitable economy. And Canada needs far more clean power to support emerging industries and projects from AI to defense to mining, clean manufacturing, and electrified transportation. So expanding generation, storage, transmission, and energy efficiency, this will create hundreds of thousands of skilled jobs and enhance the abundant clean power that's Canada's competitive advantage. So we welcome federal efforts to speed up project approvals, but access to affordable, reliable electricity will soon become a barrier to development unless we prioritize it, unless we act urgently. The North Coast transmission line announced last week was also welcome, but what we're looking for is to go beyond one-off project proposals. We're here today to support making clean electrification a nation-building priority that will greenlight projects across the country, attracting billions of private investment. And here's how we do it. Number one, task the Major Projects Office with advancing major clean power and transmission projects. Two, launch a United Canada grid initiative that builds interprovincial transmission and energy corridors, respecting provincial and Indigenous jurisdiction. And three, unlock private investment through the Clean Electricity Investment tax credits. I'll now ask my colleagues to speak about their work on electrification. John.
Thank you, Maren. Great segue. And first of all, I'm John Risley from Halifax. And Maren's comments were a great segue into my own. So I really worry about the country at the moment. I think we are, frankly, in deep trouble. I'm not sure as to the extent that that's well understood by the average Canadian, but there are signs everywhere. Foreign direct investment is dried up. Productivity numbers relative to our neighbors to the south and G7 generally are terrible. We've got huge uncertainty around the renegotiations of our free trade agreement with the United States and Mexico. And so what can we do to change this? And frankly, the country has got a credibility problem in the capital markets. And I would argue we've got an internal credibility problem. We talk about major projects, but we don't have a history of being able to undertake major projects absent huge government intervention. We all know the good news and the bad news associated with the Trans Mountain Pipeline. And so when you show up at the front desk of capital providers around the world, there is huge skepticism as to whether or not Canada can get its act together. So we need to move with a greater sense of urgency. I'm not necessarily an advocate of the kind of transactional process that we see taking place in Washington right now. But on the other hand, I'm an enemy of the process that we seem to be ensnarled by in past practices here in this country. And so urgency, urgency, urgency. We need to make stuff happen, and we need to make it happen now. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I'm Matt Harper, president with Infinity Energy Systems. Infinity manufactures a type of product called a vanadium flow battery, which is a durable, sustainable alternative to lithium-ion batteries currently being used to regulate power on electric grids around the world. We develop and manufacture that technology from our factory in Vancouver, where we've got a team of 85 people, scientists, engineers, assembly technicians who are not only conceiving those batteries, but manufacturing them so that they can be distributed all over the world. We see a tremendous role for our energy storage products in a future pan-Canadian electrification project, being able to take disparate forms of electricity generation, wind, solar, hydro, other
Hey,
forms,
Dominic,
and
we
being
see
able
you
to
out
deliver
there.
them onto the grid when they're needed most is critical to the success of the clean energy future. But for us, it's not just about building projects here. We want to be able to manufacture those products for the Canadian grid and use the application of those products as an example of what our products can do all around the world. That'll help us, use that home base, that demonstration of what we can do for Canada to prove what we can do for grids around the world, allowing us to build our business and helping us build a strong, clean energy export economy based right here in Canada. In short, we're ready to partner with everyone across the Canadian industry to apply these batteries to get the clean grid up and running, and then turn around and export those products all over the world.
Mino Gajib, good morning. Tabitha Indigenakas, Nipissing Dijnaba, Mijici Dodem. It's an honor to be here on the unceded territory of Anishinaabe Algonquin people. I'm the President and CEO of the Canadian Council for Indigenous Business, a national not-for-profit committed to strengthening the Indigenous economy in partnership with government, non-Indigenous businesses, and all Canadians. Indigenous business leaders are not just participating in Canada's clean energy future, they are an essential component. Across the country, Indigenous-owned enterprises and community-owned partnerships are advancing generation and transmission projects that will drive Canada's clean power economy. Projects that are built faster, better investments, and provide more benefit to all Canadians. We see that every day, from the Mi'kmaq Renewable Energy Strategy in Nova Scotia to the Waasigan Transmission Line in Northern Ontario to the Cowessess Renewable Energy Storage Facility in Saskatchewan, and many more across the country. To realize this opportunity, there is more to do. We need clear, long-term policy frameworks built with Indigenous leaders at the table. Early and meaningful inclusion of Indigenous communities and investments and equity partnerships, programs to support the growing Indigenous population to fill the need for skilled workers, evolution of procurement mechanisms, and early access to opportunities so Indigenous entrepreneurs can access the financing, mentorship, and networks required to compete from day one. Above all, we need to ensure that all and any streamlined permitting systems uphold Indigenous rights and communities are supported to participate. When Indigenous businesses are meaningfully included, Canada's clean energy transition is stronger, faster, more just, and prosperous for all. That's how we build clean power, community prosperity, and economic reconciliation. Miigwech.
Good morning. I'm Colleen Giroux-Schmidt, Senior Vice President of Development for Western Canada and Federal Government Affairs with Intergex Renewable Energy. Intergex is a 30-year Canadian-founded renewable energy company that's accelerating our investment in wind, solar, hydro, and battery storage across Canada today. Throughout our whole history, we've been proudly partnering with Indigenous communities and local communities to develop projects that deliver long-term benefits for Canadians, balancing people, planet, and prosperity. We welcome the commitments in Budget 2025, providing durable supports that will help enable the build-out of this critical infrastructure, reduce the risk, and harness a partnership between private capital and Indigenous business leadership. But we still need a streamlined regulatory framework, investments in interprovincial transmission corridors, stable funding commitments for Indigenous partners, and durable tax incentives that offer the long-term certainty investors need to know Canada is open for clean power business. The federal government has a key role to play as the North Star, providing that certainty and vision for the Canada we can have in 2050 if we build it today. At Intergex, we're ready to contribute and continue our leadership in building a better Canada with renewable energy by scaling our generation and storage capacity, supporting Canada's economy and society, and helping power a future where every region of this country has access to abundant renewable electricity.
So in closing, a national electrification effort that is clean power from coast to coast to coast will have enormous benefits in every province in the form of jobs, security, and affordability, and can be the backbone of a stronger, globally competitive Canadian economy. So the opportunity is here, but it won't wait. It's time to build the clean power system that will sustain Canadians for generations. Now's the moment to act with ambition and unity. And so thank you. We'll take any questions you have.
We're going to forego the question period and call it good for there. We are welcoming all comments and questions that suggest, open up discussion about the things we are presenting here every day recently. And so, yeah, if you have any suggestions, any ideas you'd like to share about the announcements we are hearing, feel free to leave your in the chat. Leave your stuff in the chat. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. We shall return. Bye-bye.